What is Palestinian rejectionism, and what role does it play in today's conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians? On at least 5 separate occasions, and I would say actually 6, the Palestinians have been offered a state of their own, an independent Palestinian state, independent of Israel. On all 6 occasions, the Palestinians rejected the two-state solution. And this rejectionism is of both their own state, alongside Israel, and Israel as a sovereign state of its own. So they reject both those things. And that's because extremist elements in the Palestinian nationalist movement want Israel as a whole as their own. In other words, they want Israel eliminated as a Jewish state, and they want that to become the Palestinian state. The first time the Palestinians were offered a state was before 1948, when Israel was founded. The Palestinians rejected having their own state. They decided to wage war with Israel. Palestine was a place where Jews and Arabs lived under the British Mandate, which was a colonial occupation of Palestine. Israel declared independence as a sovereign nation in May 1948. The Palestinians, backed by all of the Arab countries, rejected Israeli sovereignty, and rather than accept the United Nations plan to have their own state side by side with Israel, 6 Arab armies invaded Israel with the intention of destroying it. It was the stated goal was genocide of the Jewish people in Israel. Their plan was to drive the Jews into the sea, is the language they used, and to take Israel as their own. Of course, they were defeated by the Israeli army. The Palestinian leadership continued to reject offers for their own state. Some of those offers included pieces of Israel itself. So Israel would have given parts of Israel to that Palestinian state. Those offers included significant portions of East Jerusalem state, which moderate parts of Palestinian leadership have said they want as part of a future state. Now, what's the problem here? Hamas. Hamas is the problem. So Yasser Arafat, who was the head of the PLO before his death, he rejected a Palestinian state on numerous occasions when Israel and America and their allies came together to negotiate that plan. And Hamas now is the primary impediment to a two-state. They are really the epitome of Palestinian rejectionism. They do not want a state alongside Israel. Hamas's stated goal is to destroy Israel, to take Jerusalem as the capital of a future Palestinian state, and for the Jews to have no state. There's a real distortion in the public debate about this, because the two-state solution is only dead right now because we have, 1, Hamas that rejects a two-state solution, and 2, Netanyahu, who has come out against that in the wake of the October 7, 2023 attacks on Israel, and also has rejected the idea of a Palestinian state in the past. However, for Netanyahu, nearly all Israeli prime ministers supported a Palestinian state living side by side with Israel, and on all those occasions, the Palestinian leadership rejected those plans. The most extreme elements in the Palestinian leadership believe that they will eventually defeat Israel, even if it takes 1,000 years. And from 1948 till today, there have been numerous opportunities for the Palestinians to have their own state living side by side in peace in Israel. On all those occasions, Palestinian leadership has rejected those opportunities and turned to terrorism, everything from car bombings and plane hijackings, from the Munich attacks to October 7, 2023. They've used terrorism and rejectionism in the hopes that they will have their own state that replaces Israel, rather than accepting their own state that would have to live side by side and share land with Israel. It's also worth noting that an overwhelming majority of Israelis, an overwhelming majority of American Jews, and an overwhelming majority of Jews globally support a two-state solution. Globally, an overwhelming number of them support an independent Palestinian state living side by side with Israel. But you have a radical Islamic terrorist regime in Gaza, so that two-state solution for now does appear to be dead. I'm going to have another video coming up soon on how Hamas is dealing with those demonstrations we saw break out in Gaza. Hamas is now executing those protesters, and it's really disturbing. So I'm going to have another video on that soon.